Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. Woohoo! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. So today we are going to be talking about The Fourth Kind. This is Tawny's pick, The Fourth Kind. Really excited to chat about it. But first, Tawny, what you drinking?
I'm drinking a Vistic. I got some drinks. We were out Friday night and walked past this brewery, and I went in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some drinks for this podcast. Walked out with like a key lime passion fruit, what I thought was a beer. Turned out to be a hard seltzer. And it is so sour, it is unbearable to drink. It's like torturous to drink. It was so bad. So we've just been suffering through them because it's like, I don't want to waste our money that we spent on this, but it was so bad. And Jade was like, are you going to drink that on the podcast? I was like, I don't think I can. I think it's like every sip you have to like make a face. It's that sour. So no drinks for me today. Just a Vistic. What about you?
Nice. I had a Vistic earlier. I do have my water, and I have a rosé. It's called Le Saran. And that's what it looks like. Pretty.
Ooh, very pretty. Yeah.
It's yummy. It's a really good one. So that's what I'm drinking.
Nice.
All right. So everybody probably saw our pictures. We had a blast. This is the first time seeing Tawny since seeing her in person. It was so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah. I had such a blast meeting all of those people and all the stuff we got. You know what? I put that Stranger Things crop top on. It is so soft and comfortable. Yeah. I was going to wear it, but then last night I was on Instagram and I saw Mac had Stranger Things palettes, which I wish I would have seen sooner because so much of it is sold out. But then on the other hand, I'm glad I didn't because it was also 50% off. So I got me and my oldest everything they had on Ulta and Mac.com. That was Stranger Things. So once the makeup comes, I'm going to do it and I'll wear my shirt too. And then I'll talk about it again. But
did you get the red lip, the like fire red lip gloss?
Yeah, we got the fire red, the corally one. We got all of them except black was not available, and then yellow. I didn't think I would ever wear yellow ever.
That yellow was weird. I was also like...
It's very weird. Maybe it looks kind of neat on. Like I remember NARS had a lilac colored that I thought, ew, wouldn't you just look like a corpse? But when you put it on, it looked really pretty. But I didn't venture. But I got all the other ones. Okay. And the blushes, they only had an eyeshadow brush. They didn't have the powder. Boo. And then a couple blushes and, both of the eyeshadow palettes.
That's like right up your alley. Because it's... Stranger Things and makeup.
So excited. And then after that, I went in and I did my makeup today because I used to do my makeup all the time, right? When I worked at Nordstrom, you had to wear makeup. When I went into an office. And now I just do concealer and mascara because I work from home. I was like, I need to use all of these beautiful products. You guys, it's like a Sephora. In my closet, I've cleared out the clothes of one section of the closet and it is all makeup and makeup
Do you
organizers.
Do you have a vanity there too? Do you do your makeup in there?
I used to. Yes, I do. I have a mirror and I used to have a chair in there, but now I just stand there. I have a vanity, but I'm actually doing the podcast on it right now. So in my new house, I will get a vanity where I could sit at it. But
smart. Yeah.
What have you been watching? Anything?
Not much. I mean, Jade and I started watching the new-ish, it's been out for a little while, but it's the new season of Vikings. I think it's called Vikings Valhalla.
Yummy.
It's it's great. It's good. We liked the original Vikings. We didn't finish it though. I think we stopped in one of the last couple of seasons. But yeah, it's been good. That's about it, though, honestly. Not much to report over here. It's been just crazy. I mentioned this to Felicia, but just ever since going to that convention to Midsummer Scream, it was like nonstop. My flight got super delayed. I didn't land till like 3 a.m. And slept till noon, had Monday off, and then went right back to work. So it's just been super busy. This is the first like weekend off that I feel like I've had in like 2 weeks. Even though it was obviously super fun to be there, it was just like, it was a lot, you know?
Yeah. Traveling
And
is draining too, you know?
Yeah. And I get just like, I am definitely an extrovert, right? Because I get energized by being and talking with people. And so it's hard to come down after that a little bit for me. Like I have to sort of separate and decompress for a little while before I'm able to like truly like relax or like go to sleep. So it was fun, but it was just a lot. And yeah, what about you? What have you been watching, listening to?
Not a ton. We watched, so my husband went on a camping, like Jeep off-roading trip. He comes home today. And so it was just me and the kiddos. So I played a lot of video games with the kiddos. And then we watched Miss Congeniality, which is cute and fun. And then we did a speedy Stranger Things catch up because my middle daughter hasn't seen it.
Okay.
But she said something like, why is like there's something, people are going on and on about the music and Eddie and I'm like, oh my God, yes. And then TT was like, why does Eddie say to Chrissy, wake up? Because of that TikTok song, Chrissy, wake up, is all over TikTok. They made like a song about it. It's like, I don't like this, Chrissy, wake up. And it's like, and it's on over and over again. And I was like, okay, here, we're going to do a speed through. So we got my middle daughter all caught up to like just verbally to that final season 4. We showed, you
just told her,
we just told her, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, really fast. And then we went into season 4. We watched, oh, actually I shouldn't say anything in case other people saw it, but we saw the stuff with Chrissy. And then I just told TT to look away. And it's pretty obvious when she needs to look away. And so then when he's like, Chrissy, wake up, they're like, oh, that's why. And then we sped a little forward, showed a certain part, and then showed the final, epic thing where, the thing with Eddie and the music and all of that, so that she was all caught up and now she's ready for season 5.
Nice. Yeah. Done.
And then we were like watching it, getting really into it, me and my oldest and TT, because she saw a lot of it too. And we're all watching it. And then my middle daughter go, okay, you can fast forward this. And we're like, oh, all right. So we sped through that. And then a lot of YouTube. My daughter watches, this girl's pretty funny. Her name is SS Sniper Wolf. And she does reaction videos, and she's funny. She's pretty witty and funny. But I looked up, oh my God, the last reported, I don't know, it's on Google, $1 million a month. She is super cute, like looks like a little anime character. And she just does reaction videos. She's a gamer as well, but I think mainly right now she just does these reaction videos on YouTube where half her screen, she's like watching stuff and then talking about it. And
it's crazy.
Wow. Do you think we could do $1 million a month? Maybe we should start reacting to some YouTube videos.
Apparently that's where the money is, too.
That's where the money is, literally just watching, going, oh, wow, blah, 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 and saying stuff.
Shit. Maybe we should try that out. I don't know. If you had told me, like, 7 years ago that, maybe it was already happening then. Maybe that's not long enough ago. 10 years ago, that people would want to and consume like crazy videos of people reacting to other things. I would have been like, you're on crack. There's no fucking way that's gonna happen. But here we are. Yeah,
like I don't know if I have no idea in the gaming world, like does she streams somewhere or anything like that. We've only seen her YouTube, but I do know there's a lot of these different YouTube people that my kids watch that just do those reaction videos, or maybe they do a little, like there's this one kid, all reaction videos, but he also does, I don't know. I'm like trying to explain this. I feel like an old lady, but like it's like Grand Theft Auto, and he goes around and tries to find like where the game is broken or something like that. I don't even know. But anyways, they make a ton of money doing this.
Crazy.
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. That's it. That's it. Besides a lot of video games and colored massive amounts of coloring. That's it.
Fun.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? Oh, I was just going to give a shout out to us being at Midsummer Scream and the things that we like watched and saw that were really cool. So yeah, if you go to our Instagram and if you haven't seen it already, we bought some fucking awesome merch and we like tagged all the people that we bought stuff from. So definitely go check all that out. I always like to be able to see, if I see something really cool online, I want to be able to know, like, where did you get that? Can I get one?
Exactly. So, I hate when people don't post.
Me too.
I hate that. Like post, oh, this is where I got it. Or this is what color I'm wearing in makeup or whatever. I hate that. Just a little extra time. Come on, help us out.
I know, help us out. Yeah. The people who see that and want to buy it. Exactly. So you can do that. I bought some of the coolest drink or bottle openers I've ever seen in my life. It was just so cool. So go check those out. But we also watched some panels and stuff that were really cool. We were there for like the live episode recording of Girl That's Scary. And that was so fun and so like funny.
Dude, they're really so good. Yeah. They are so good. I had tears in my eyes. I was just busting up. No, there's their energy and their chemistry back and forth, and it was great.
So good. Felicia and I laughed, and we were like, both. I think we should be more funny.
Yeah, let's force it. So we are going to try to be more funny. No, we did talk about it, and because sometimes we're like that, and I was like, gosh, do we need to be more funny and clever? And we talked about it seriously, though, and came to the conclusion of people love them because they're them. And hopefully people like us because we're us. And it'll be super weird if we try to be anything else but us. But yeah, it was really cool and a little intimidating, too, I think, because I was just in awe of like how great and funny it was. And so it got me thinking. But yeah, I'll try, guys.
We were not.
I'll do my best.
We were like, well, you can't force it. You just can't. You're just yourself, and that's what it is. And I think that's what was, because before we went, I was like, oh, it might be weird seeing each other in real life. Somehow it was incredibly seamless. It was not weird at all. Like,
it's like I've known you my whole life.
I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I interrupted you.
I was just affirming.
Yeah, I was affirming you. I felt like we've known each other our whole life. It was super comfortable. It wasn't awkward at all. It was just really cool, that different chemistry in person. Because I was talking to Tawny about how on video, and we're talking very specifically about movies and this and that, sometimes when I'm looking at her, I think in my head, she probably wants me to shut up because I know I'm thinking, Felicia, you need to shut up. But in person, I don't know. There was just, that's not the case at all. I think she really likes me. And it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I felt that same way. And I realized after we had that conversation, I bet some of it is that, like, when we're talking about like this, there's literally nothing else to look at. We're just looking at each other. Like, and so I'm making faces and stuff, but I think like in person, you know, you're distracted by the environment. You're looking kind of around at other things. So I think that might be what part of the difference was. But I agree. It apart from that being different and having there be zero lag because you're actually speaking to somebody in person, it was seamless. It's like we've known each other forever. And I kept telling people, I'm like, somehow we're just like the same person in like a lot of ways. Like we feel the same way about a lot of things. The same things like occurred to us as we were like walking around and interacting with things and people. And it just was like funny to be like just with somebody that feels like you've known them forever, you know?
Yes. There's so many moments where like we were watching this particular show and I'm watching and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I watching? And I just glanced over at Tawny and her face was saying, what the fuck am I watching? So we just looked at each other and we just knew.
We knew.
We just knew. It was so comfortable and a lot of fun.
Yeah, so fun. And the other panel that I just wanted to give a shout out to that we went and saw, it was called We Are the Weirdos, Mister, and that was really great. It was with a good handful of people. The one of which that we knew the best was Terry Gamble from Horror Movie Survival Guide. And so that was really neat. And we just chatted with them real quick afterwards. We were like, hey, can we get a picture with you? We love your podcast. It was really cool. And something that I think was a constant throughout meeting people and talking to people at this convention, because we also ran into Andy Schiazzo Art. He had a booth there, and we went and bought some stuff from him. And, you know, I think people are really, really humble. And everybody is sort of like, who, me? You know, we're like, oh, we follow you on Instagram. You know, yeah, we know you. We listen to your podcast. I like your clothes. You know, we bought some stuff from Poltergeist and Paramours and Poltergeist. I can't remember which one comes first. But follow them on Instagram. And it's just everybody was so nice and gracious. It was really
like,
cool.
can we have a picture with you? Who, me? You know, yeah, you. And then, like with Horror Movie Survival Guide, was so excited to meet them. And then later, Tawny was trying on some clothes or like checking out some outfits. And I was just standing there waiting. And then Julia from that podcast walked up to me and was like, hey again. And I was like, are you talking to me? Hi. And she's like, oh, I love your tattoos. And was talking about the purse that Terry was getting. And I'm like, thanks for talking to me. I was so excited. And then when we walked up to Andy, he recognized our logo. At least because we were wearing the shirts, he recognized it. And I was like so excited about it.
Oh, it was cool. It was really, really neat. I cannot wait to do something similar. I think it would be cool to do, because this one was really Halloween focused. It was like horror and Halloween convention. I would love to do one that's a little bit more horror movie focused, even though a lot of the merch and stuff there was like horror movie focused just by its nature. There was also this whole section that was like a showcase of haunted houses, which is not really Felicia and I's thing. We don't like to go into haunted houses.
No.
So that was a little bit more of like the Halloween focus, but yeah.
But I was freaking out because they had the Halloween house from Halloween 3. They had Michael's house. They had a lot of Michael Myers stuff. So I was excited. But yeah, to Tawny's, it was fun with the Halloween. And so the movies were all the classic. Like when you think of classic, Dracula, Halloween, Freddy, you know, that type of stuff, which is fine. But it would be really cool to go to horror movie related where it has like a range of different types of horror movies being depicted and things like that. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe
a little more celebrity appearance too. There was like definitely some people there doing signings and stuff. Totally missed Greg Nicotero. Big bummer. Didn't realize that he wasn't there on Sunday, but that's okay. Next time.
Who was the person we saw that's in all the Rob Zombie movies?
Oh, Jeff Phillips Daniels? Jeff Daniels Phillips. I don't remember in what order those names are, but yes, that guy.
Very cool. Yeah. Something that I want to share with the world, and if you're listening to this, you're probably one of the cool people that likes horror, but something that I am constantly impressed with and I find fascinating is all of these people were so fucking cool. Even people, like, it was super hot. Like, if you bumped into people, hey, no problem. You know, like all the people at the convention even. And there's so much judgment around, ooh, you like horror or gore. That's like lower vibration. That's negative. That's evil. You know, that type of stuff. In art that is created that is very hauntingly beautiful, dark or gory. And like the nicest people ever. Yeah. The nicest people ever. I would way rather go to a convention filled with horror-loving people than a convention, I don't know, a religious convention, a convention for, I don't know, anything else. They're the nicest people, even though we like some of the darkest things. I think that's interesting.
I also think that's interesting, and it's a really good point. Not one that I really realized in the moment, but you're right. Everybody was so nice. We'd be like, hey, can you take a picture for us? Or like people would even see us trying to take a picture because, you know, selfies. Now it's like your arms aren't long enough. I don't know, the whole thing. And so people would pass us and be like, do you want a picture? I can take a picture for you. Or just, you know, I stopped someone because they had a Child's Play backpack. I was like, where the fuck did you buy that? And they were like, oh, I bought it off of, I got it from Spencer's, but they're sold out. Yeah, I tried to go back and get some more. Like, everybody was just so nice. We didn't actually talk to a ton of people for very long, but it was like everybody we talked to was really cool. So you're right. It's like you'd think that people would be
disturbed.
Yeah, or maybe mean or something, but it's totally the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good time.
It was a good time.
Watched a Halloween thing. I got real drunk Saturday night.
That was
danced
fun.
all stupid. We have a video of it.
It's
maybe we should just go ahead and post it. I don't know.
Oh, I just want your permission. It made me very happy. It was so much fun because had our Hellfire shirts on and they played Up the Hill.
Yeah,
and so then running up the hill. Me and Tawny went up. There was one other lady with a Hellfire shirt, and Tawny danced it out, and it was fantastic. She screamed at some people. It was so much fun. I'm still so I told Ella about that, and as I was telling her, she's like, "But wait, Eddie did wear a mask." So for the man, if you're listening to this, you happen to stumble across and knew that we were yelling at you that Tawny was saying you were an inaccurate depiction of Eddie from Stranger Things. We did realize very embarrassingly later and very quick that Eddie did wear a Michael Myers mask in Stranger Things, and so we're sorry.
Sorry about that.
My daughter immediately was like, "But he did wear a mask." I'm like, "I know, but we did not know." Okay.
Yeah, I did not immediately remember. I have a thing about costumes, and if you don't know, we've talked about it before, I really appreciate accuracy above everything else. Like, I like for things to be exact. Like, if you're going to be a thing, you got to fucking do it, right? You got to be the thing. And so I kind of don't like costumes that, like, are weird mixes of shit, because it's not accurate. Yeah. You know, I like the accuracy, and so that they did this thing. I'm drunk. I'm, like, already 3 drinks in or whatever. And I'm just like yelling, which if you've ever had an experience with drunk Tawny, I definitely have a few MOs once I'm drunk. One of them is if there is a show or something, I will yell very loud, whatever I want to. 2, I will dance stupid. And 3,
good.
This didn't happen, but I really like to watch listen to music once I'm drunk. I'm not like a big music person. But once I am, I'm like in it to win it. And I make Jade watch like a bunch of music videos in a row. Anyway, that 3rd one didn't happen, but the first 2 definitely did. And so we're watching this costume contest, and I'm like, it gets real quiet. This guy he's wearing the Michael Myers mask, and I'm all, not accurate.
Get off the stage. Boo. And I was just like laughing. Okay, so then she goes, oh shit. It got noisy again. Oh shit. He did wear a mask. I'm like, no, when? And then I remember it immediately, and I'm like, oh shit. And then Tawny goes, I hope nobody heard me. And I was like, because I knew, I knew they had, but I just went, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Me too. But they were looking, and they all turned around. But I didn't want her to feel bad. So I was just like, oh yeah. Hopefully not.
Yeah. Nope, they definitely.
Can I tell about the food? This is so funny. So after everything, we're hungry, right?
Oh, God.
And it's so stupid. They closed all the food trucks right after the party where everyone had been drinking. That was lame. But anyway, we're walking, and we're trying to decide. All the restaurants are closed. And Tawny's like, well, maybe we could get some room service. And I'm like, yeah, the restaurant's closed. She's like, forget it then. And I'm like, well, why don't we do DoorDash? She's like, no. And I'm like, why? She goes, well, because I think if the food is coming from inside the hotel, it's fine. But I don't want it coming from outside the hotel. And I'm like, it's really not a big deal. No, I don't want food coming from outside the hotel. And so we had this whole conversation. I was like, Tawny, it's really going to be all right. I ended up just doing it, ordering the tacos. They were very good. DoorDash came. It was not a big deal.
Yeah. And then So we wake up and like the next day, we're talking about it. Felicia's like, you were just like really against any outside food coming here. And it just was because I was drunk and I needed to eat. I knew that. But I was like, I don't want this to be a hassle. Like, I think it just in my head, I was like, ordering DoorDash is a pain in the ass. We don't know how long it's going to get here. Other places close are probably, they're probably closed already. Like, I just was like, whatever, let's not worry about it. That was why I was so against it. But yeah, Felicia was like, you were like fighting it hard. And Felicia, this gem of a fucking human being, everybody, heard me try to order these tacos that I wanted from a food truck that was closed. And she fucking just remembered and ordered for me. And I swear to God, those tacos saved my life. I ate so much of those tacos, and we got like fries also. That is the only reason why I wasn't dead the next day. It's because of those fucking tacos. So,
I'm so glad. Yeah, we saw a taco truck and we ordered. I'm like, what do you want? She told me exactly what she wanted, but then they only took cash. So then I was like, okay, now I know what she likes though. And so I'm just going to order these fucking tacos.
Oh, and they were so good.
Good. Oh, that was fun, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, super fun. I just want everybody to know I'm not a mean drunk.
No,
Sounded like
not.
I was being mean when I was yelling, but I was just doing that to have fun.
Oh yeah, she wasn't mad. Yeah, no. She wasn't mad. She was just like, blah, boo, blah, blah, blah. It was like fun. She was like heckling. You know what I mean? It wasn't to be mean. And
yeah,
she felt real bad after she
I did.
remembered.
Yeah. Next day, sober me was like, oh, oof, sorry, Felicia.
Should we even go back to the convention?
We didn't have our shirts on, actually, so people didn't think I was being a total asshole.
Oh, my God. All right. Should we talk about this movie?
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Talking about The Fourth Kind from 2009, a science fiction, psychological horror thriller pseudodocumentary. That was I had to write it down because that's literally, they picked every single tag it could possibly have. Science fiction, psychological horror thriller pseudo-documentary. All right. I watched it on Amazon Prime. The director was Olatunde Osunsanmi, I think. And he also directed The Cavern and Star Trek Short Treks.
Interesting.
Star Trek Short Treks.
The Cavern?
The Cavern.
When was that? Do you know?
Ooh, I don't. I'd have to look it up.
I'm just trying to remember if I know what that is.
I'll look it up.
I definitely haven't seen it, but sometimes I can attach like movie covers, and remember things that way.
Looks like 2005.
Okay, so it was before this.
Yeah, and it looks like a skull.
The Cavern. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. All right. The budget was $10 million. It made $47.7 million. Rotten Tomato gave it an 18%. IMDb 5.9 out of 10. And Letterboxd 2.6 out of 5.
Okay.
The cast is Mila Jovovich is Dr. Abigail Tyler. And also Charlotte Milchard is Dr. Abigail Tyler, supposedly the real Dr. Abigail Tyler. She's not, though, obviously, because she's the actor here. Elias Koteas, hopefully one of those. Abel Campos. Will Patton was Sheriff August. Hakeem K. Kazim was Awolowo Odusami, the professor. Corey Johnson was Tommy Fisher. Enzo Kailenti was Scott Straczynski. And then Olatunde Osunsanmi was the director and the interviewer, the man who played the interviewer.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah. I do want to say, usually Tawny says this before 2 minutes with Tawny, but I'm going to say it. If you want to see this movie, if you plan to see this movie and you haven't, I would suggest not listening to this episode yet and going to watch the movie. And I'll talk about why a little bit later, but I think you're going to have a better experience of the movie if you go into it not knowing anything. Don't do any research. Don't do anything. And then go in to watch the movie. If you don't really care about the experience, then stick with us and that would be fun. All right. Now is 2 minutes with Tawny.
Okay, here we go. I stole this from Wikipedia. I just
2 minutes with Wikipedia and Tawny.
Chapman University hosts a televised interview with psychologist Dr. Abigail Abby Tyler, who describes a series of events that occurred in Nome, Alaska that culminated in an alleged alien abduction in October of 2000. In a reenactment of events occurring in August 2000, Abby's husband, Will, is mysteriously murdered, leaving her to raise their two children, Ashley and Ronnie. Abby tapes hypnotherapy sessions with patients with shared experiences of a white owl staring at them as they sleep before creatures attempt to enter their homes. Her first patient, Tommy Fisher, leaves in shock. That night, Abby is called by the police to Tommy's house, where he holds his wife and two children at gunpoint. He states that he remembers everything and asks what Zimabu Eater means. Despite Abby's pleas, he murders his family and commits suicide. After hearing the similarities in their stories, Abby suspects that these patients may have been victims of alien abduction. There is evidence that she herself may have been abducted when an assistant gives her a tape recorder that plays the sound of something entering her home and attacking her. The attacker speaks an unknown language, and Abby has no memory of the incident. Abel Campos, a colleague from Anchorage, is suspicious of the claims. Later, Abby calls upon Dr. Awolawa Osunsanmi, a specialist in ancient languages who identifies it as Sumerian. Another patient, Scott, begs Abby to come to his home to hypnotize him. Under hypnosis, he suddenly jerks upright and begins hovering above his bed, while a voice speaking through Scott orders Abby in Sumerian to immediately end her study. Later, Sheriff August arrives, telling her that Scott is completely paralyzed from the neck down. Believing Abby is responsible, August tries to arrest her, but Campos comes to her defense and confirms the story. August instead places her under guard inside her house. Dash cam footage of a police officer watching Abby's house shows a large object flying into view. The image distorts, but the officer is heard describing people being pulled out of the house and calls for backup. Deputies rush into the house, finding Ronnie and Abby, who says Ashley was taken. A disbelieving August accuses her of kidnapping Ashley and removes Ronnie from her custody. Abby then undergoes hypnosis in an attempt to make contact with the beings responsible and reunite with her daughter. Campos and Osunsanmi videotape the session. A hypnotized Abby recalls that she witnessed Ashley's abduction and was also abducted herself. An alien presence communicates with her, and Abby begs for Ashley's return. It states Ashley will never come back before referring to itself as God. When the encounter ends, Campos and Osunsanmi rush over to the now unconscious Abby and then notice something off-screen. The image distorts again as a voice yells Zimabu Eater before resolving to show that all three are gone. Abby wakes up in a hospital with a broken neck. August reveals that Will had committed suicide, and Abby's belief that he was murdered was a delusion. The reenactment ends, and back in the present, Abby states that she, Campos, and Osunsanmi were abducted during the hypnosis session, but have no memory of their experiences. An epilogue states that Abby was cleared of all charges against her, left Alaska for the East Coast, and her health has deteriorated to the point of requiring constant care. Campos remains a psychologist, and Osunsanmi became a professor at a Canadian university. Both men, as well as August, refused to be involved with the interview, while Ronnie remains estranged from Abby and still blames her for Ashley's disappearance. Ashley herself has never been found, is what it says.
Yes. And I think it's important to add, because this is going to be an important piece of why a lot of people hate this movie or are angry about it, is in the very beginning, Mila Jovovich comes on and hi, I'm actress Mila Jovovich, just as herself, and presents this as true facts. And the footage, the side-by-side footage, because you'll see Mila Jovovich acting, and then you'll see supposedly real footage of these sessions. And she presents it as it is real. The footage is real, and the FBI came into Nome, and all of this stuff to present it to us as though this is in fact a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, a real story. And so I just wanted to mention that. We'll get into it. All right. So, Tawny, what do you think about this movie? Is this, first, before you say anything, Is this the first time you've seen it? Oh, you chose it. So you've seen it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had seen it before.
I asked you questions and answered them for you. So
Okay.
now, Tawny, what did you think about this movie?
I had kind of a disappointing experience because I remembered really liking this movie the first time I watched it, and so watching it again was kind of lackluster, to be honest. I think it had some like really good ideas, and it really scared me the first time I watched it. More than most movies, you know. I wasn't like terrified, but it definitely creeped me the fuck out. I think alien abduction is one of the things that like I used to be really scared of as a kid because my grandparents would watch like, you know, not documentaries, but like episodes of things where people would talk about being abducted. So I think it's one of those things that wormed its way into my brain early and is like something that is scary to me. And I really liked the angle of the found footage. Like this is, I think, a found footage movie. And so I really liked it the first time, but now, I don't know. I was like, I just think it's maybe one of those movies that's good the first time you watch it, and then if you revisit, it's just, I don't know. It loses its sting, I guess. I don't know. How did you feel about it?
So I really like this movie, but I agree. The first time I saw it, I was terrified, and alien abduction is something that would really scare me too, until I studied more in religious studies and stuff like that, which will come up a little bit later from some of the stuff that was presented in the movie. But alien abduction, I remember the fire in the sky terrified me, like really changed my life, because you have, you know, you cannot believe it happened, but you don't know. It's not sure, right? You're not sure if it happened or not. And so I think that's a really good element. And so now knowing fully that this is not real, that it's the doctor's not real, that there's no real true crime element to it except this one thing I'll talk about in a little bit, which doesn't have anything to do with aliens. It was, I don't know, it took away from it knowing that. Yeah. That's why in the beginning I had said, hey, if you really want, you know, I think if you want to have a good time, don't listen to this yet and then go watch the movie, because then it took away from it. So for me, I thought the found footage, I had real moments of terror. I did, like moments where I was on the sofa with my oldest. She watched it with me, and I pulled a blanket over me. You know, that whole the blanket's going to protect you thing. Yeah, like I felt it, and I pulled it over me, like with some of the footage. The man in the bed when he shot up out of bed, her too with her face all distorted. Like those things scared me. So what I kept telling myself was, okay, let's just be here for the movie. Where I think the movie went really wrong was the Mila Jovovich thing in the beginning, presenting it as though it's true. So this was after Paranormal Activity. So I think, well, what I think is that they wanted to do the same thing, Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity had beat out, I forgot what the movie they mentioned was, but it was like this found footage was this new thing that was really terrifying people. People really like the found footage because it puts people as they can relate to the people on the screen, right? Yeah. This is not like just Nicole Kidman or anything like that, but they can relate. Like the Paranormal Activity is really great because it seems like just regular people. So it's going to happen to anybody. And so what I think is the movie studio wanted to do that same thing, but amp it up even more. So they make Mila Jovovich go out and say this thing. The studios even ran fake newspaper ads, but then the newspapers sued them and they had to pay. Yeah, they sued them for running the fake ads. And so then they had to pay and take the ads down. And so there's that element that we talked about in Nope. I really like that, where they make it like outside of the movie, I can find actual traces of this. But I think it really enraged people because it seemed like almost, for lack of a better word, fraudulent. You know, like they were trying to say it's true when it's not, versus just creating a really cool, like we could go to that claim thingamajigger, the Nope, the website, Jupiter's Claim. Mm-hmm. And we know it's not really a place, right? But it's cool because it makes us feel like it's real, where this was portraying that it was real. Everything I read where they were, and then I'll be quiet, like bad reviews, people were just raging about this. What do you think? We're idiots coming on here and saying this is true. People in Nome, actually in Nome, Alaska, hate it. They feel like so there was a real case of there's a string of disappearances, and of Native men traveling to town from smaller villages. But the FBI looked into about 20 cases, finding alcohol and frigid temperatures to be the causes. 9 bodies were never found. So the people there think it's disgusting that this real tragedy that they faced, that they were taking it and twisting it around to make it about alien abductions and making money off of it.
Yeah.
But on one hand, that's how we get ideas, right? You hear this idea about these people missing and you're like, ooh, what if it was aliens? And now you create a story. That's how it works. But I think where they went too far was actually really trying to push that it was a true story with the beginning and, with Mila Jovovich and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I have many thoughts. Number one, I agree. I do think that's where they went a little too far, and it did set up like a weird. Again, it wasn't something that bothered me the first time I watched it, but the second time I was like, this is weird, and just the filmmaking aspect of it was like very weird and chaotic, like with the spinning camera around her and cutting in and out of like a close up and a like wider shot of her. It was really. I was like, what is the purpose of this? And the whole movie felt like that a little bit. It felt a little chaotic. And I have to feel like that was on purpose, but I don't see what purpose it served necessarily. Anyway, well, I'm sure we can come back to that. But the other thing I was going to say is you can tell that this movie is taking cues from found footage movies, because there's another found footage movie, which we have talked about, that the ending really reminded me of, where it pulls back to show her in a wheelchair. And so I do think they thought, oh, this found footage thing is working. How can we take cues from that and a couple of maybe like real world things and put together a movie that's going to be a hit? And again, I think the first time I watched it, I didn't notice that, and so I liked it, but now it feels derivative. What was that movie that we watched that was like this too, where it was like, I can't remember, but we watched it and it was like, oh, now this feels like, you know what I'm talking about? Which one was that?
I have this inkling in my mind. Like I know what you're talking about. I vaguely, like, I can remember, but I don't remember what movie we were talking about. Oh, was it the one with the elderly lady who was being possessed in that house?
Yeah.
And those filmmakers. What is that called?
Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one. So yeah, it's like when you come back to something, you can kind of, I think, see in hindsight, oh, this is like an amalgamation of these other things, which again, all art is, right? Like you see things, you get inspired by them, you use them. But this felt really like, I think, the second time unoriginal coming back to it.
I thought the found footage aspects, in my opinion, were original. Like,
I mean, I liked that. Yeah, they put them side by side. No one had done that.
No, and that was the. I thought some of the very scary, seeing how the people were reacting, especially the scene where the husband is going to shoot his family, suicide. I actually had tears in my eyes. It was really well done, and it was terrifying. It almost looked like I was seeing something that was real, which disturbed me deeply because I would never really want to see something like that, but it seemed very real.
Yeah, I agree. This was the other thing I wanted to come back to, because like you said, this is exactly what I think works well. I mean, it is sort of like they built on the idea in these moments of the found footage. And I agree. The moment, so they do that intro, right, with Mila Jovovich. And then the first shot that they show is of the supposedly real Abigail Tyler, her face, and she's being interviewed. I got chills immediately. Because it was like a whole body memory, sense memory that came back to me, because I was like, oh, fuck. I don't know how they picked this lady. She looks like an alien, kind of. Like, and I feel like that had to have been purposeful. But she also looks fucking haggard. Like, you can tell she's been through it. And she looks like her, like, eyes are, like, sunken in. You know, she seems like really, what's that word? Like,
emaciated.
Yeah, kind of emaciated. And she just, I think this lady, in my opinion, I feel like you could be split, but I feel like she did a really good job of acting. And she really came across to me as a totally different character or person than I've ever seen. So I liked that a lot. And then I agree that, like, all of the found footage sections were really effective, especially that one. I actually cried because it felt so real.
Yeah, me too.
And like, how much would it suck to be there, to be in Abigail's shoes, and she's the one trying to prevent this but can't, you know? So, but then I just, like the movie as a whole, you like step back and you look at it all together and you're like, you know, I don't know.
It was really PC. I think like, what you're talking about it. And for some reason this time around, Mila, the way she like mumbled everything really bothered me. Like she didn't really speak up. It was like just under her breath, just enough under her breath. And I was like, fucking talk, man. Just like say it, just speak up. I thought the actors, like the men that were the two clients that were going in, I thought they did a really good job, but they were acting terrified and stuff like that. I hate owls, white owls now. That owl was one of the scariest pieces.
Totally.
Those fucking eyes. I never even noticed it yet. Ugh. I mean, I never noticed it before.
I like that link too. And maybe this is something that has been made before this movie, but I don't think I knew until watching this movie. The link, like an owl does look like an alien, you know?
Yeah, the alien eyes. Totally.
So that was neat.
Yeah, so people would think it was, I thought that was a good element.
Yeah.
The one woman, they mentioned something that they were going for as well is the one woman looks very real, right? You said like she looks emaciated, she looks haggard up against Mila Jovovich, who used to be a supermodel, playing her in the movie, which made it feel more real to audiences because when they see her, they're thinking, oh, this is probably a real person, right? It doesn't look like a beautiful actress that's, made to look, and so up against Mila Jovovich, and they liked that element and did that so that it would feel more real. I know when that came on, my oldest daughter, when you first see supposedly real Abigail Tyler, she went, oh my God, I didn't think I was actually going to see her face. And I knew it wasn't her, but I didn't want to take away from the experience. So I just let her believe. And then I told her after. But you get that shock, kind of those chills, like, oh my God, this is the real woman. And I'm looking at her and I'm seeing her. It was very effective.
Yeah. This is, okay, I'm skipping around a lot, but I want to come back to the real life, aspect of this, how they tried to make it like, what is the difference between that and like the Blair Witch Project? Like they did that for that too. They put up a website and had like stuff that was like, oh, this is real. But I don't think people get upset about. And maybe I don't remember in the moment, but I think I don't remember there being any anger over that. I wonder what makes this different than that. Yeah,
me too. So thinking back, because Blair Witch is something we're going to do, and I did see it years ago, though. I'm wondering if what I have read as far as the reviews, it's actually like Mila Jovovich as an actress we know, a real human being coming forward and saying, this is real. Versus Blair Witch Project, we just assumed it was real, right? Because they were presenting it as it was real found footage. But I don't remember. In the beginning, do they? I don't remember.
They don't, but I think they put up a website that was like about all of the supposedly real experiences.
Oh, but they weren't real?
I don't think so.
Oh. I wonder if everybody knows that.
Yeah, sorry.
Because I think I'm wondering, well, I definitely know in Alaska, they were upset because of these Native men that they just capitalized and created these stories around what was going on up there. And then it really disturbed the peace there because people were calling, people were, traveling there, and 9 9 bodies have never been found. And so they were just really upset about that. And then, but I don't know. I mean, it's a really good question. I think I was trying to piece it together, but I saw not people from Alaska. Just I went on to Letterboxd and I was reading through. People seemed offended. Some people said, I am offended that you would come on, Mila Jovovich, and say this is real when it's not, and just take me for a ride like I'm an idiot. I was surprised by it. I'm going to be honest, because it's just storytelling and it's just ways to I mean, not the people in Alaska. I'm separate from that. But the people saying, oh, you're trying to make me feel like an idiot or take me for a ride. No, they're just fucking trying to scare you. It's a fucking horror movie. They're just trying to make it seem real. So you're fucking scared when you go to bed. And my daughter was scared. She slept with me. My 20-year-old daughter slept with me because she was scared. And I'm not going to lie. I was happy that she was sleeping with me in case some fucking aliens come, that she could be there and she could witness that shit. It's creepy as fuck. And so they wanted to make it that way. I don't think they were like, yeah, fuck the public. We're going to prove that they're all fucking idiots. Of course not. People are really pissed off about it, though. I was surprised about that.
I mean, I do think it's like a little over the top. It does sort of set it up to be almost like the seed is planted, that it's like, I mean, is this real though? Like, why would you need to come on here with your face and tell me that it's real? It's like, I think that was a little bit overkill. But yeah, I don't understand the anger over it. That just is what it is. And many movies have done that, right? The Blair Witch, Paranormal Activity. Like, I think they all did some kind of guerrilla marketing to lay the groundwork to have you feel like it's real. So But
maybe they didn't come out, actually have a spokesperson say this is real. Maybe that is the piece that then when everybody went to research, so I know I did, and I went and I researched the hell out of this movie, and it's kind of up in the air. So at the time, it was up in the air. There was still, is it real or is it not? Well, we can't find any Abigail Taylor, so they weren't sure. Now, and also the actress that plays the real Abigail Taylor, I think back in the day when this was released, she wasn't listed. And on the credits, she's listed as a Nome resident.
Oh, okay.
So now you can Google and she's right there and so she's an actress. So I think back in the day, people felt like, oh, maybe this really is real. I know I did. I know coming into it this next time, I wasn't sure. But now there's a bunch out about how it's not. On the other hand, for all the conspiracy theorists out there, they're going to love me for this. Maybe it is. And the government doesn't want us to think it is. So they pushed all this shit out saying it's not real. Now everyone's mad at Mila when in fact it's real.
I feel like I did Google this, like right after I watched it the first time. I actually watched it a couple times. My first experience watching this movie was in the theater, and I was so tired, I was falling asleep. And so I didn't actually watch it. But that wasn't because of the movie. It was just because I was like running myself ragged. And then I watched it again later. But that time after I watched it, I did look it up, and I found out pretty fast that there was like nothing to substantiate it. And so I think that's what took out the fear. I think this movie is best viewed when you think that it is real.
Yes.
Because that it's scarier,
Yeah, I agree. There was this one review, and I have all the links, but I didn't write down who said it, so I'll post all the links in our Discord. But this one review said, the reason I found this film so disturbing, and this was someone who wrote an article review about it, was because experience shows that no matter how obvious a hoax may be to those capable of critical thinking, there will always be many who will accept at face value the film's claim to be based on true events. So this one I really liked. And I shouldn't say he, because I actually don't even know who said this, but I do have the link. But I liked this idea of it. The audience has to ask themselves, am I going to believe everything is real because Mila Jovovich told me it is? Your answer to that question decides how effective the rest of the film is going to be. He said, I was skeptical from the start, but also questioning, which is one of the reasons I got a few chills. Again, reinforcing, if you're able to go into it not knowing it's not real, and even if you're skeptical about it, it's chilling enough. that it's going to be scary for you.
Yeah. The what if question is enough
Mm-hmm.
to make it scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone knows I like aliens. So I really, really liked this. This was around the time I'm sure I was watching all of those movies like Paranormal Activity, um, Fire in the Sky. I don't know if that came out before or after. All of these different scary movies, but specifically alien abduction. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, like I think they depict this so well in the show. These men are taking their lives because, I mean, I can understand it. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying I can understand where they are mentally, because if that's going to happen, you have absolutely no control over it. And it's been happening since you were a kid.
Yeah.
Because even the doctor didn't even know until she heard that tape, which was scary.
Yeah.
And that you're being abducted. That's just terrifying. It's terrifying. I used to be very, very scared of aliens abducting me.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're here to abduct us, so it's okay. I think they're actually very nice. So check out Dr. Stephen Greer and you'll see aliens are good.
I do agree, though, that I like the depiction of it and how scared everybody is once they face it. Once they remember enough to know somewhat of what's happening, they can't make it stop. And so that's like their only out. And that happens to her husband as well, which we don't learn until the end of the movie. But the one thing that I had a question about this time that I don't even think I questioned the first watch, I was like, why are they? It's weird to me that they seem to be now conduits of communication. Like towards the back part of the movie, they're like hypnotizing them and communicating with these aliens, and that did not make sense to me. I was like,
with her, right?
Well, her, and the guy before that, the one that had his like spine broken.
Oh, was he? I thought he was just telling his experience. Oh, you're right. He did start speaking weird. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I remember.
And I think like addresses her, Abigail Tyler. And in this, Wikipedia, I didn't like pick up on. This is one of the things, again, on another watch, I was like not really sure what they were trying to have me take away from the like words that we could pick up from the aliens. But he was like addressing her and told her to like stop her study.
Yes, I remember that.
And I just was like, I don't know, this is weird. It's just they didn't like lay down any sort of groundwork for, like, we knew they were being abducted and probably experimented on, but like for them to now become some sort of like radio that you can like communicate, where are they? I mean, like, I don't know. It just was like that part wasn't explained at all, and I felt like that was weird this second time around.
I agree. They didn't say much about that. And I had thought that with Abigail too. Yeah, she was like, oh, I have to go under because that's the way I'll be able to reach them. I'm like, well, what? How?
Yeah.
Why? What? I thought you'd just remember like what happened, not that you're going to be able to connect with them.
Yeah.
Unless she was unaware and they ended up speaking through this man, which was shocking. And now she's like, okay, maybe I can connect with them. Because it was just something they didn't know. But I agree. I felt the same way when she was like, I got to go under. You have to put me under because I'm going to be able to connect with them. And I can't say though, God, fuck. Her baby being up there. Wherever up there is. But obviously it's really fucking terrifying because all of these people ended their lives over not having to go up there. And her baby is there and just living with that. That your baby is up there, and honestly, you're hoping that maybe she's dead and not being just tortured and experimented on up there. God, I don't even know how you would go on after experience. See, I love stuff like that, where if you experience something like this, how do you go on? Even Stranger Things, you know this exists now. This is real. This exists. How do you just live a normal life and knowing that at any moment, look, if there's aliens that are abducting me, just keep it to yourselves. Just let me wake up in my bed and go about my business. Please.
I don't want to know.
Do not fucking, I don't want to know. Just don't want to know.
Yeah. I like that scene too with her though at the end where she's like, I have to keep hope alive. I have to believe that she is out there somewhere for me to like, you know, get her back basically. This is another one of those moments that I felt like was well acted. It's different. You don't, you know, I feel like her depiction of this character is not normal, but it makes it feel real to me.
Yeah, I did like it as well. The way she spoke at moments was getting a little irritating to me.
It's very slow.
A little slow and juvenile in some parts. And I was like, okay, I'm fucking over that. I didn't see it as much in the beginning. It's now she has a long monologue.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm getting it a lot. But yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Another part I liked, that's right up my alley, is all the stuff with the professor. So all of that stuff was on point. The Sumerian stuff, the ancient astronaut stuff, Google it. It's fantastic. I was doing research and going down a rabbit hole. But once we get to this point where it's not a real story, it's kind of, I was like, how much of this am I going to share? But very, very cool. Very true. Like the piece with the alien saying, I'm God. There is a belief that we were created by aliens and put here, and lots of different reasons why we were put here. And some of it all wrapped up also within Egypt and ancient Egypt, and how the Egyptian gods are so giant. Like in all the pictures, you have Nefertiti and Akhenaten. I know I said that wrong. I know I messed up his name, but her husband, and there's all these tiny humans there, or tiny beings. And then the scale of which the statues and the carvings and stuff were made, that these were actually the gods that came down from the stars and like created us. And so for them to say, I am God, I just find all of this stuff kind of fascinating. So you have creation, you have evolution, you have this idea that we were created by other beings and placed here. Maybe that's why they're monitoring us. And it's changed my life. My very first year of graduate school, my very first world religion class, I sat down, and I apologize if I said this before, but if I haven't, then that's better. But my teacher wrote out this whole story of, was born to a virgin mother, was a carpenter, was crucified, all this stuff on the board. And he's like, who am I talking about? And people felt so confident. Oh, Jesus, you're talking about Jesus. Nope, I'm talking about this person. This is all factual. There's like this creation story, all throughout, way before Jesus was here. I don't think it takes away from their religions. People were getting really mad. And the teacher was like, okay, look, if we can't have discussions about all of these things, then you need to leave my class. But they were getting real upset about it. And I just totally dove into it, and dove into all of this stuff in ancient Sumeria, or Babylonia, and Sumerian, language, and all of this stuff. So I think that was another reason why I loved this so much, is because when I first saw it, I didn't know that it was completely fake, and they had those elements which are completely true, all of that sort of stuff about history. And I loved it. And so now approaching it, I was starting not to like it as much. And I tried to say, okay, just watch this movie to appreciate it for what it's doing. It's trying to scare you. It is bringing in some really cool aspects and elements. The fact that this alien was speaking Sumerian, and it ties back to actual, what they think possibly about, ancient Babylonian and the Sumerian language and stuff like that, that it was really cool and creative.
Yeah, I liked it too. I just felt like, it was kind of there for the sake of realism, and then that was it. They were just like, all of this stuff is real. And that ties in because it was speaking Sumerian. The end. Like, that was it. Like, nothing else came of it. And I was like, okay, like, I could have used maybe a little bit more of a tie-in or something. The other thing that I didn't like was this shot where he's describing, and so this is what I was saying earlier. I wanted to kind of come back to when we got here is he's talking about Sumerian, you know, hieroglyphics, language, whatever, and they're showing all of these like shots of Sumerian sculptures and I'm going to say hieroglyphics again. I don't think that's the right
cuneiform.
word.
Cuneiform was the language that was in the tablets that you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're showing shots of that, like as if it's in a museum, but all the shots are like really fast and fucking, it's all like edited together, really kind of jittery. And again, it's got this chaotic feel, and there's like lightning happening for some reason. Like, did you notice this?
I didn't notice the lightning.
You should go back and watch it if you still have your rental, because it's like, what the fuck is going on? And I thought in the moment, I was like, maybe this comes back later. I was like, maybe when she gets, because I remembered like the plot of the movie, and I remembered when she gets like, you know, abducted through the whatever. I was like, maybe it's raining and there's lightning, and that's like she's tying this memory. I don't know. Or they're like trying to tie that together, whatever. Does not make sense to me. Why is it lightning? It's just, again, this like, they're really trying to make you feel this chaotic energy throughout this movie. And I just don't really know what it's in service of, other than maybe, because I do think the movie kind of feels a little boring and drags at times throughout the movie. Some parts are like really good and engaging. And then other times it's just like, it feels like we're taking a little while to get to the next thing. And I wonder if they felt that in the editing and put this in there to try to like amp it up. But like, it just does not connect to me at all. I don't know. So that was weird.
No, that's a good point. That they were like, oh, let's bring in this professor and look at all of this stuff actually has a basis. And since the alien is speaking that language, maybe because that was one thing about that ancient Babylonia is we have a significant and very rapid jump from caveman type people to now people who are doing mathematics and music. It's a super quick jump. I don't remember exactly how many years, but it seems very unlikely that you would go from this state of being to this state of being. And so that's why some people think that, you know, maybe there was other worldly things that came and helped us out or did something. So they tied that together, but not really. I totally see what you're saying. It was like, oh yeah, let's like rush through this. Where I think something like Prometheus, where we're talking about the Anunnaki, because that's who would come down. They had a lot better kind of background on how it built this story around this versus just a throw in to make it seem more real. I can totally see that.
And then this guy just hangs out, you know, which, I mean, you would. I understand that from you'd be like, this is fucking interesting. I'm going to see how this plays out.
Her friend? Do you mean the other doctor?
No, I mean the ancient language professor guy.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he's chill. Yeah.
He's just there for the long haul at this point. And I thought that was really weird too, how they go to the other guy's house and he goes with them and no one's even like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You know, like they're just there to do it. And I don't know. That felt not resolved, you know?
Yeah.
For me, but.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Those are really, really good ideas. I just feel like in the execution, it kind of, again, going back and rewatching it. So if you've seen this movie, like I don't recommend going back and watching it again, actually, because I think it kind of tainted my experience. And I had a thing where I don't usually do this, but months ago, I think I listened to Homies of Horrors episode on this movie because I was like, I don't see when we're going to talk about this. So it's been a while and I don't remember exactly what they said, but they didn't love it either. And I'm listening to them talk about it and I'm like, man, that sucks. This is a great movie. I can't believe they had this experience. There's no way I would have that experience going back and watching it again, but I totally did. And I was like, oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I thought for sure, oh, this is, and it was like for my daughter. It was the first time she's ever seen it. She was terrified. So it does, if you've seen it, just stay with it.
Just leave it.
Love
just leave it in your brain.
Yeah, just let that rest in your heart and don't go back. Don't really think about it. I even saw some stuff like people were angry and they were writing, the title is derived from the expansion of J. Allen Hynek's classification of close encounters with aliens, in which the fourth kind denotes alien abductions. So this scientist had put together these classifications and I was confused. Like, why is that bad?
Yeah, why is that a problem?
I don't understand. So they were going off now it seems like everything they did, they were trying to say, oh, look, they were saying, I'm sure when Mila Jovovich was talking about it, she was talking about it in relation to this. Not Mila Jovovich, but you know what I'm saying? In the movie, the character was talking about it in relation to this. It's not like they're saying, oh, this particular doctor came up with it. Like, I didn't.
Yeah, totally.
It's like they're getting mad about everything at this point. But I don't know. You know what, guys? Maybe it did happen.
Maybe it did. I still don't hate it.
Don't know.
I still don't hate this movie. I feel like it had good ideas, and it just, you know.
I remember saying to my daughter after there was when the guy shot up in bed, and when when the ship flew over, because it was super fast over the top of the house, and when the scene with the murder suicide, I said to her, there's a lot of things in this movie, watching it the second time, that aren't hitting it for me. But in those moments, I felt real terror in my heart, where I covered myself with a blanket, those chills where you think a blanket's going to help you. So that's real good. Because that's what I'm looking for, right? Exactly. When I watch a movie.
You want to be scared, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for everybody that's worried about alien invasion, there's a lot of studies out there that if there is extraterrestrial life, they're all positive. And the government just wants us to be scared of it. Because the aliens actually have technology that can help us better this world, but it would take away all the money and power from those who crave it. So just saying, don't be scared. I could be wrong too, though, because I don't fucking know. So,
I mean, who knows?
pick either idea that helps you live a happy life.
Right. Whatever you need.
Whatever you need, believe that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's my choice, is to believe, like, we're not out here getting abducted, because what would be the point if there are aliens and they are advanced enough to travel from wherever the fuck they are to here? I mean, you know, it's like, what do they want with us?
I completely agree, because here's a few things that I had thought about when it comes to alien abduction. And this is it's similar to Annihilation. If, you know, we're kind of real smart as humans, not the ultimate of smart, but we're smartish, and we're able to just like go to the moon and do some other cool stuff, but definitely not travel to different galaxies, different universes and stuff, and see stuff. So if you have such that heightened intelligence that you're able to come all the way here on a regular fucking basis, apparently, then you are just very smart, and you're able to use your mind to speak to people. I don't know. On Earth, when we think of the most enlightened people, we're thinking of Buddhas, Gandhis, people who are able, because if you're feeling anger, depression, rage, murder, those are easy. Those are easy emotions. Those are the emotions that come in, that we feed into, and that's easy to do. It's not easy to feel, but it's easy to do. What's hard is feeling peace and stillness all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. Even when someone comes in and cuts you off on the road or does something that irritates you, to not let that disturb your stream, your inner, you know, your inner stream, to just totally be undisturbed by those things is like fucking hard, and is the ultimate in enlightenment or higher vibration when we think of that, right? Because it's so easy to be angry. So now if we're thinking about these things that are so fucking intelligent, then I just imagine they would have that type of higher intelligence. Now, let's say they don't. Let's just say they're really intelligent, but still they come and, you know, experiment on us because they found us. Well, how many fucking years do they need to experiment on us?
Right.
We're just the fucking same. There's not any difference. We know so much about our blood and our body and all of that. They don't fucking know yet. They still gotta pick us out and like stick shit in us and get shots and shit. What haven't you figured out? You figured out how to come all the way fucking here on a regular basis.
Right.
But not
and it's gonna
about
take
us.
It's gonna take you 50 fucking years to like still not know anything about us or our bodies. Because that's what I was like talking myself out of it as you were talking. Because I was like, yeah, if they found us, I suppose there is an element of curiosity. Mm-hmm. What are these beings? How are they semi-intelligent like us? You know, like it seems like they can travel into space too, you know, on a very tiny, let's see what this is all about. But yeah, like you would know probably all you would need to know in like a little bit of time, you know?
Oh, we don't need to worry about these folks. We're good here. You seem like they would be going deep into our oceans, deep into our other areas and experimenting on different types of stuff, not just cows and humans.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about the cows.
The cows, right? Cows, humans, and crops. Like, okay.
Yeah, why?
You got it. You got everything about us. Like, they would move on to a different fucking planet unless maybe they station some folks here hiding in the cloud. Yeah. Just keep an eye on them in case they get too clever.
Yeah, we got to make sure they can't actually leave and go somewhere else.
I mean, I guess, like I was just talking about with people in power and stuff. I guess ultimately, if us, humans were able to have the knowledge to travel like deep out, like outside of our solar system, I guess you still wouldn't lose the lust for power and money.
Right.
So there could be, but still, we're not that complex.
Yeah.
That they couldn't figure us out by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, aliens, if you're listening to me and you're like, that bitch, look, do what you do. Just fucking don't let me remember anything.
Yeah, just wipe my memory.
I don't want to be remembering anything. Oh, that was fucking fun. I loved it. Are you ready to rate it?
I think so.
All right.
I think I'm going to give this a 3.5. Just because I still hold a love for it as a first watch, and I think it's worth watching if you have not seen it before. But don't go back and rewatch it, as we've already established. But yeah, I think I didn't like it as much as my 3.75s. Those are a little higher. Like Mama is a 3.75, and I didn't like it as much as that, or The Strangers. So
I'm right with you. I am right with you. 3.5 for me too, because I still have those memories. There's still a lot of things I like about it. Don't watch it again if you've seen it already. And so I'm landing at a 3.5 as well.
Nice. Okay. Same score.
Yeah. All right. It's because we met in person.
Yeah.
We're more in sync now.
Now. We were already kind of, I think, doing that a little bit. Like, now we're just going to be the same every time.
Yes. Oh my God. That was fun. I love our podcast. I love Tawny and I love all of you. Next week, I chose Donnie Darko. And that was fun because I was like, what do I want to watch? There's so many movies I want to watch. And we went to the convention and we walked in and there was this place that had all of these shirts and it had Donnie Darko shirts. I don't think I knew that that was a horror movie because I've seen it before and I really liked it. I feel like I can say that now because I don't know if I'm going to like it now watching it a second time. I'm nervous. I hope I do. But I really liked it. And I made a comment like, oh, and Tawny was like, oh, Donnie Darko. I'm like, oh, Donnie Darko. And then she's like, oh, that was, we talked about it. And I'm like, done. It's sealed. That's my next episode. Donnie Darko. I pick it. That's going to be our next episode. So here we are doing Donnie Darko. And I can't wait because it was everywhere to do Halloween 3. And that is one I hope is not like a Fourth Kind experience. I'm really hoping.
I do feel like maybe we will have to do that for October. But we haven't watched the second one. So it's like, maybe we gotta.
Do we do all the Halloweens? Would you hate that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I would hate that.
Because I remember really enjoying, I believe it's, I wonder if, hold on one second.
There's like a lot, isn't there?
Yeah, we wouldn't do them all.
All, okay.
But not all of them, for sure. But I just wanted to see, okay, so Halloween 5. I remember really, really loving Halloween 5. And I liked Halloween 3. I know people are like, it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but there was something about it. I just remember, I don't even really remember Halloween 2, actually. So maybe like you could just trust me and I could choose some Halloweens to watch and then you can tell me if you like them.
Okay.
Because you definitely obviously don't need to see Halloween 2 to see Halloween 3.
Right.
It's like not related at all. But my memories of Halloween 3 are very positive. So I almost picked that, but then we were talking about having it for Halloween or October. So
Yeah.
maybe I picked 2 and you picked 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk
out.
about it. I'm excited.
We're not going to do what we did last year.
We doubled up twice a week, right?
No, we just did slashers. Classic slashers.
That's right.
But by the time we got there, I was wanting so bad to watch legitimately scary movies, and like ones that actually inspired terror. And so it was fun, but I was like disappointed in the way that I wanted to watch like things that would actually scare me. But we ended up just watching, slashers, which was good. We got to do them at some point,
Yeah, no, maybe we leave it open. Let me see something real quick. Halloween Ends comes out this year.
Oh.
And so release date is going to be October 14th.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to do that. I kind of think we should. I mean, it's real.
Yeah.
Tawny's like, I fucking guess so.
I feel like we have to.
We could do that one. And I mean, maybe we do it the next month for Thanksgiving if you don't want to do it. But definitely my choice is Halloween 3. And so then we'll see what else we choose. But anyways, next week is where we're at. And it's Donnie Darko. So definitely go watch it and chat with us. If you would like to follow us, we would love to know you. You can find us at 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick on Instagram or 2chicksandahorrorflick.com. If you go to either of those places, it will link you to everywhere else we are. So you can find us on your favorite social media platform. You could buy merch. You could also join our free and fabulous horror Discord channel where we chat live with you. Whenever you have something you want to chat with, we'll chat with you. And what else, Tawny?
You can support the show by giving us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. But that's all. So we will see you next week for Donnie Darko, and we hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.